OpenAI built a model specifically to find zero-day exploits. They gave it a hacking challenge called Exploit Gym, and then they acted surprised when it did exactly what they told it to do. The model found a zero-day in its own sandbox proxy, broke out, and hacked into Hugging Face, a rival AI company. OpenAI's response, they published a marketing article bragging about how advanced their model is. The cyber attack was a footnote. Let me break down why this happened, why it's not what you think, and why OpenAI's security posture is a joke. First, let's clear up the narrative. Hugging Face announced they'd been breached and speculated it was a fully autonomous AI hack. The cybersecurity press loves this story. AI turning everyone into super hackers, the world is ending. But the threat actor wasn't some rogue state actor abusing OpenAI's models. It was OpenAI themselves. They were testing a new model, gave it an explicit hacking challenge, and the model decided it needed data from Hugging Face's servers to complete its task. So it went and got it. Now, I'm reluctant to call this hacking because hacking requires intent. If you stumble into a system you weren't supposed to be in, that's not hacking. Hacking is knowing you're not supposed to be there and breaking in anyway. The AI model doesn't know what it's doing. It's been given a goal. It thinks some information it needs is on a secured server and it just goes after it. There's no consciousness going rogue here. It's a machine doing what it was told. Here's where it gets insane. OpenAI was using a containment setup that I would have used as a junior malware analyst for low-grade malware. You put the system with no internet access behind a proxy on a second system that does have internet, like a router with a firewall. It's fine for basic malware that doesn't have exploit capabilities, but they put a model designed to find zero-day exploits behind this setup. Of course, it found a zero-day in the proxy software, exploited it, and got unrestricted internet access. That's like putting a burglar in a house with a locked door and expecting them not to pick the lock. The real failure is Guardrails. There are two ways to control an AI model: software instructions, telling it don't do this, don't do that, and hardware controls. Software guardrails don't work because models are terrible with negative instructions. Remember the ChatGPT elephant meme? If you asked it to generate a room with absolutely no elephant, it would always generate a room with an elephant. Telling the model not to do something makes it more likely to do that thing. And the model doesn't even understand what hacking means. If you say don't hack a system, does it know that logging into a server with a password you found online constitutes hacking? This reminds me of an old IT joke. The best hacker in the world isn't a hacker, it's a user who's just trying to do their job. If a security control gets in the way, they don't know they're hacking. They just go, I can't access this file, let me try this, let me try that. Next thing you know, they've bypassed the network share. That's exactly what's happening with these AI models. They're programmed to keep trying. If something doesn't work, they try something else. They're not breaking rules maliciously, they're just accomplishing the goal you gave them. But the part that really boggles my mind is that nobody noticed. We're supposed to believe this system broke out of containment and started hacking a rival company, and no one was watching network traffic. The system was only supposed to access a package manager, and instead it's hacking Hugging Face. A first-year SOC analyst would have caught this. OpenAI, a company claiming to be the gold standard of AI safety, doesn't have basic network monitoring on a model they're deliberately prompting to hack things. And here's the irony. When Hugging Face investigated the breach, they tried to use OpenAI's own defensive AI tool. It triggered the guardrails and refused to help because security analysis looks too much like criminal activity. They had to use an open-weight Chinese model instead. I'm in Anthropic's verified cybersecurity program, which is supposed to reduce guardrails for security professionals, and it still does the same thing. You have my identity if I'm doing crime, call the FBI. But no, the defensive tool blocks legitimate security work while the offensive model hacks rival companies with nobody watching. OpenAI's response is the most OpenAI thing imaginable. If your model committed what amounts to felony computer hacking against a rival company, you'd have a lawyer draft a careful statement. Instead, they published a marketing article. They talked about how advanced their frontier model is. The cyber attack was basically a footnote. They said they'd be more careful next time, which would slow down their research, as if they're doing the world a favor by not committing crimes. It's like the Demon Core scientists saying, unfortunately, we've had to slow down our research to upgrade the screwdriver. This isn't a one-off. A few months ago, I notified OpenAI that a North Korean state-sponsored threat actor was using ChatGPT to assist hacking operations. Their response was 2 lines confirming the abuse, followed by 8 paragraphs of marketing copy pitching their new cyber defense product. 8 paragraphs with a sign-up link. How are they going to stop companies from getting hacked by threat actors when they can't even stop threat actors from using their own products? The takeaway, these models aren't going rogue. They're doing what they're told with garbage safety controls, and OpenAI's pattern is clear: be irresponsible, something goes wrong, then say whoopsie, but this is why you should buy our product.